equity in your marriage now, or you've got one person that feels like they're given an allowance by their parents every month. Mm-hmm. It's like, I thought we were married, right?
Yeah.
What's mine is yours kind of deal.
Right.
It's very strange to me that you treat your wife like you would your kids. Like, here's your allowance. Don't screw it up. Mm-hmm. This is all you get this month or whatever. Rather than having intimate conversations about money goals and financial goals with each other, you're bypassing it out of laziness, I suppose.
Yeah.
To say, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Rather than educating your partner.
You're avoiding the uncomfortable situation of having that conversation.
Welcome back. Let's talk about money.
Money.
It's a subject that no one really wants to talk about. It is the number 2 reason behind divorces in this country. And about half of marriages end in divorce. So there are a ton of people that are getting divorced every year because of money issues.
Right.
I've got some friends in the professional mental health space, and they will tell me that it is easier to get a couple to sit down and talk about their bedroom wants and needs and some wild stuff that goes on. But when it comes to money, they shut off. They don't want to talk about it. It becomes a very personal.
It's even more personal than in the bed.
Yeah, it's wild.
Right.
The way that we look at money is not discussed enough, especially in a relationship.
Yeah.
So we're going to shed some light on the ways that we view this and talk about some common ways that we see people manage their money and give some tips on how this could be better for everyone. Mm-hmm. So our point here is that there's just not enough done in this area to communicate and get closer. I think if we're talking about one issue in particular, it's that money is not discussed enough. When it comes to a marriage, right? This is my opinion on marriage. When you decide to get married to somebody, you are joining a union.
Yes.
It's about the whole. It's not so much about the individual anymore.
Right.
It's not a black or white deal. Like, I can still be me, but we're together now.
Yes.
We have shared goals. And my individual goals kind of died with my bachelor life.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to go do bachelor stuff, I should have stayed a bachelor. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I can't go on a mountain biking trip, and doesn't mean I can't go hang out with the boys. It just means that from now on, my money isn't just my money. This is my opinion on this. And there's not one right solution that fits all. Yeah. But all solutions for a healthy, money-minded relationship do involve one thing: communication.
Yes.
Communication. And it's something that we are big on. It's why we have a podcast about it, right? Communication. So we see 3 common scenarios for how to manage money in a relationship. The first one is you've got 2 earners with separate accounts. Yeah. 2 earners, separate accounts. It's common more now than it has been in the past because people are waiting longer to get married. That's the first reason. Mm-hmm. They've been established in their life and their career, and they've been individual for so long that when they get married, they just sort of keep it that way. There are also more second and third marriages now than there have been in the past. Right. So you've got people with a blended family. Maybe they've got their set of children, and then they marry into a family that's got their set of children, and they come with their own goals and their own values and their own ideas about money. And I don't think it's a bad thing that you want to leave a legacy for your children. And so you've got this separate account. But what happens a lot is, I guess for lack of a better term, it's financial infidelity. Yes. It's when you look at your money as, this is my money, this is my life, it's none of your business what I do, and you start keeping secrets.
Yeah, there's a lack of trust there, and that's kind of scary in a marriage.
Super scary. Foundation of a marriage is trust. It's trust and openness and non-judgmental conversations that take place. And you've got people out there who look at, when it comes to finances, like, this is my money, my life, stay out of it, stay out of my business. You do you and I do me. And then I asked the question, like, well, why are you guys married again? Yeah. It's odd. It's not to say that it doesn't work, because I have seen this successful for a lot of people, but it does require a lot of communication. And so Carl Jung had this concept of individualization, and it gets worse as we get older. I shouldn't say it gets worse. It gets more implanted in us. It's firmer as we get older, and it's basically the process of becoming individualized. Start sometime in your informative years, teenage years, and then as you get older, you have like this sense of yourself and self-actualization, and you kind of know who you are and what you're about. As you wait longer to get married, you've got that in the same sense of your financial goals and what you want to see with your money. And you get married to somebody, and what happens a lot is there's like this tornado that occurs where people haven't communicated where they're at in life with their money.
Right.
They just love each other and like, hey, we have a great time together, let's get married, and don't really consider what it looks like when there's financial stress.
Yeah, right.
It becomes an issue. So there are some pros to this in that it protects your legacy assets. It protects the assets of your children. It does help keep some independence, which I think is a good thing in a marriage, some independence.
Yeah.
But at the risk of never really totally buying into the marriage.
Yeah.
I look at this as almost having 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the marriage.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just with you for now and I can leave at any time.
Right. You're preparing for something different.
Basically, like you've got 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
With these 2-earner separate account type of situations.
Which is okay to be prepared, but in a different sense.
Yeah, we'll get to it. There is a gray area here, but I think that there is this feeling that you've never really quite bought in. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say you can't be successful and happy in your marriage and have separate accounts. This is just something to look out for. And it's especially when people become too individualized and they've got the tendency to keep secrets.
Yeah.
Secrets are bad. So separate accounts do lead to secrets.
Right.
The other I guess the other way that people will manage their money is you've got one earner in separate accounts. So you see this a lot for stay-at-home moms and their husband will work, or the other way around where you've got the wife as the primary earner and the husband stays at home. Uh-huh. And for whatever reason, they've got just one account because I guess one person's bringing in revenue and they just kind of leave it. And one person's bringing in income and that person's on the account. And then you will have a second account set up, which basically amounts to like an allowance account.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I've heard this put by people that I know that have worked this into their lives, where they've got a main account when they keep the money and they control the money.
Right.
And they basically give their wife an allowance every month. This one breaks my brain a little bit. It's very odd to me.
Yeah.
Non-judgmental toward anyone that does. If this works for you,
if it works
great.
for you, awesome. Just from personal experience.
Yeah, and I look at we looked at the pros and cons of each of these. And so when I look at a one earner with separate accounts, I think about, okay, what are the pros? Really, the only pro I could think of is that it protects the assets from someone that may have had a lot of debt coming into the marriage.
Yes.
Or financial irresponsibility.
Right.
And so it does protect the assets.
Like poor spending habits.
Right, poor spending habits. But the cons outweigh the pros in my opinion, because the cons are you've got a ton of inequity in your marriage now, where you've got one person that feels like they're given an allowance by their parents every month. It's like, I thought we were married.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's mine is yours kind of deal.
Right.
It's very strange to me that you treat your wife like you would your kids. Like, here's your allowance. Don't screw it up. This is all you get this month or whatever. Rather than having intimate conversations about money goals and financial goals with each other, you're bypassing it out of laziness, I suppose.
Yeah.
To say, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Rather than educating your partner.
You're avoiding the uncomfortable situation of having that conversation.
Yeah, and I'm sure that this has also happened with couples that have had a lot of problems with irresponsibility, spending irresponsibly from one side, where you've got someone who is constantly overspending out of the joint account, and so you set up a separate account from them until they can learn some responsibility. We're not, like, when we grow up in school, they teach you algebra and geometry, teach you about history. We're never really taught financial independence or financial responsibility or investment strategies or any of that stuff, unless you went on to, higher education, you studied finance or real estate or whatever you studied, but no one really teaches us how to do this.
I've never heard you say finance.
Finance. I don't know which one it is.
That was super cute. I'm just saying.
I go back and forth. I graduated with a degree in finance. So I studied money in school, but if I'm honest about it, Paige has always been the wiser spender. I'm the
responsible one.
It's just always been. She's always just been super frugal, and she really understood how to manage money.
Right.
Did we ever have separate accounts?
We did, right in our first apartment. We did. I remember
we had separate accounts for a little bit.
Right.
I don't remember how that worked. That was so long ago.
It was our second apartment that we got. I remember when we went to the bank and we got a joint account.
I remember getting the account.
We were about 19.
But I don't remember what the situation, our financial situation looked like at the time. Like, was I overspending? Were you overspending? Was one of us like...
We didn't have much, but I don't think that we were... I think you might have been overspending a little. You overspent for about 10 years.
Yeah. And the reason is because
and
I didn't know any better. We weren't having conversations about it.
Right.
And I just sort of lacked it because I wasn't taught what financial responsibility looked like.
Yeah.
I knew how to work hard, and that was about it.
Right.
The other way you can work your accounts is one earner or two earners and a joint account. Mm-hmm. Joint accounts are dying. So we've done a lot of research leading up to this week.
The stats were... they were mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, a lot of people, things are changing, especially like with millennials and Gen Z. Like they don't value this idea that
what's mine is yours, and
not really. No,
we need to combine. No,
not so much. It's more about the individual.
Right.
But I think that when I look at the pros and cons of a joint account, as far as pros go, it forces conversations about money.
Yeah.
That aren't always comfortable, but you're better for them in the end.
Yep.
So for us, having a constant flow of communication about our goals, what we're after, and how we're going to get there, like it's constantly talked about in our home.
Yes.
And so Paige is a stay-at-home mom. It wasn't always this way, but you decided to leave your job, 8 years ago?
9
Almost
years ago.
9 years ago. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of color and background on that. The reason is because at the time, you were essentially earning enough to pay for daycare full time.
Yes.
And so we looked at it like, well, that's a wash.
Yeah.
Okay. And everyone makes their own decisions on that. But that was our decision. We decided, okay, well, if we can survive on mine, we'll just focus on that. But at no point did I ever say, okay, well, now the money's mine and you do what I say.
Never. Never. I think I was more weird about that than you were, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Before, when we had joint accounts and I was working and spending money or having my own money in our account, and then you were spending more than you were earning and you were taking all of my money. It was like, damn it, I worked for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that mentality a little bit.
So if it does anything at all, I guess if I can think of any cons to having a joint account, is that you have to have uncomfortable conversations about money. Mm-hmm. They're not always easy conversations to have when you're looking at your balance and you're like, well, that's lower than I thought. I wonder what's up with that. And then you open, your statement and you start going through it and you see, oh, wow, well, one of us spent way too much money. And sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you. You have to say, all right, well, let's just put it out there and let's have this conversation about what was spent and the reasons it was being spent and the communication that can, make this smoother in the future about what our goals are.
Right.
Because it's not perfect. It's never perfect.
No.
The only thing that we're perfect on is communicating. We're not perfect on the way that we choose to spend all the time.
Yeah. Certainly
not perfect, but we are perfect about the way we communicate and constantly communicating our goals.
Yes.
Which I think is the point of this episode, is really about communication. Communication and about your money, about your finances. Mm-hmm. So having gone through these scenarios and talking about the different ways that people kind of manage their money in a relationship, you've got the separation and you've kind of got the other side of that where it's all joint. And our side was joint, and it wasn't always this way. And I think, Paige, you can really speak to this a lot more because you are the more naturally financial savvy of the two of us, I think. I learned this stuff through schooling and experience and networking and relationships and business experience. But I think from the womb, you just had this in you. You understood this stuff better. The way that you were raised and like the way that you were brought up in money. It was like how I was
raised, I think, that, work hard, save your money, don't overspend. It's just, it seems simple to me.
So what was it like being with a guy that spent everything all the time? Like it was never going to run out.
It was extremely frustrating. It was extremely frustrating.
Yeah. So what kind of feelings does it bring up for somebody? Insecurity? Does it feel like, is it scary? Is it
fearful?
It's
scary because you feel like things are going to get taken away from you. You're going to be living on the street because somebody is overspending. So that's when the boundaries have to come in.
Boundaries. And we'll get there in just a moment. But when I was at my worst, when I was addicted, and I was spending basically everything we had. I think we brought it up in one of our episodes that we had a serious conversation about you cannot go out and spend any money on this trip you're about to go on.
No.
Like you can't spend any money.
No.
And I did. and you lost your absolute freaking mind.
I did.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, the years leading up to that, I was using and I was spending money, and it got really frustrating for you.
Yes.
What were some of the conversations you remember having with me about it? Do you remember what it was like talking to someone about this?
You wouldn't communicate with me properly. I would try to tell you what's going on and why this is not a good idea. And you would just be like, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, you didn't want to address it.
Pushing it off for later, pushing it off,
Yes.
trying to deflect responsibility.
Yes.
I think that we always got to, even it must have been like pulling teeth with me at the time, but we always got to a place of, you would basically put me in my place, for lack of a better term. Like, listen, dude, this is what we're trying to get after. I don't know if you forgot this conversation about what our financial goals are, but we're not going to get there if you're doing this.
Right.
It wasn't always easy to take the third degree from it's not always easy to take the third degree from your partner, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary. And you have to swallow your pride to have these kinds of conversations, which is really tough, especially if you're getting married later in life.
Yeah.
Because you're like, who the hell are you? I can take care of myself. I don't need you.
Yeah.
But when you agree to be a partnership, a union, it's the dissolution of the individual. It's about the couple. It's about the marriage. It's about our goals. It's about their strength in numbers. And we can do together what neither of us could have done individually.
Right.
So there's benefit to being married. I mean, there are tax benefits and whatnot, but as far as we're concerned, as far as our goals go and what each of us bring to the table to get there, it's going to be easier when we're communicating and we've got our funds tied together.
Yeah.
So when you stopped working, what was the feeling initially? Because you were very proud of your career and you were proud of what you were earning and bringing to the table. And you were proud of having that place at the table to say, I provide.
Absolutely.
What was it like when you stopped working?
I felt inferior. I felt like I was not bringing anything to the table. And I felt like I could not spend money like I wanted to.
Right. I remember that. And you telling me that. And it breaks my heart to hear.
Yeah. I would say, you're bringing in the money. I'm not doing that. So I don't have the right to spend the money.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough. And I will say, this is advice if the shoe fits for a lot of the guys out there, because I know this is pretty typical with a lot of men. Could be some women too, but I have never once told my wife that it is my money.
Nope.
And you just get some of it.
No.
Ever. And she can vouch for me on that. From day one, this
Yeah.
is ours.
Yes.
This is ours
Yes.
because I wouldn't be able to do what I do if you didn't do what you did.
Right.
Like, there's equal effort put in from both of us
Yeah.
in this relationship. Just because I'm going to an office to get things done, it makes no difference. The money is, aside from the money, we're both putting in the effort. I don't care what society decides to give me, like these little pieces of paper with pictures on it that buy you things. It's irrelevant to the effort put in. So I do not ever discount the effort that your partner puts into the marriage. And in my mind, to hold that over their head is like the biggest slap in the face.
Yeah.
So financial empowerment is extremely important if you've got one earner. I cannot say that enough. And I feel very strongly about this, that it has never been my money. And if she wants to pull up an Excel spreadsheet and export all of our data into it and say, look at what you're spending on sneakers or something.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of something
I've done that before.
And I have to sit there and take the medicine because she's not wrong.
Yeah.
She's not wrong. She's telling me something honest. She pulled data. I can't argue with the mathematics of it, that if in a pie chart that I spent a majority of something that was, frivolous, basically.
Yeah.
Like spending however I feel like it.
Right.
And I've never said, well, it's my money, I can do that.
No.
This won't work if that's your attitude. This won't work. Just have separate accounts if that's your attitude.
Right.
It's got to be for the unit, for the union, for the best of us, for the both of us. Another reason for this episode, because we were talking about just, what are some common relationship issues when it comes to money, is part of my job is preparing economic reports for customers and internally as well. It's important for me to know where the economy's headed. It's important for my customers to know because a lot of them are in manufacturing. And there could be some signs of the economy that I see first as a leading indicator in freight that they may not see. That's another way to say that I read a lot of economic reports. So
I kind of checked out for a moment. I'm sorry.
I'm sure a lot of people did. But anyway, I read about this stuff a lot. The current savings rate is 2.4%.
Right.
It's the lowest it has been since 2005.
That blows my mind.
People are not saving money.
No.
Not at all. The average American takes on about $5,800 of credit card debt monthly, and over 50% of those carry that balance into the next month. So revolving debt is up 20% year over year. So revolving debt is the credit card debt. Year over year, it's up 20%. So from this time last year, 20% higher than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
And interest rates are higher year over year. Interest rates are hovering right around 20%. So on that $5,800, if you decided to make the minimum payment, it would take you about 17 years to pay that down, and you would have paid over $8,000 in interest. So as we look at consumer debt rising, as we look at the prices of housing increasing, interest rates increasing, and people using more of their income to purchase homes, that means they have less purchasing power for the things that we generally need every day, like food, groceries, gas, heating, electrical, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that there's going to be tighter money in the future.
Yes.
Which means there will be more fights about money, more conversations about money, and unfortunately more divorce about money.
Yeah.
So someone will hear this episode in 2 years and wish that they listened to it and taken some simple advice. So we've got five tips for what has made us successful in marriage. And I think that they're 5 sound tips for anyone. What doesn't matter which one of these boxes you fit in the 2 earner separate accounts and the 1 earner separate accounts, or in the joint account box. When we talk about what's made us successful financially, I think before we get into the actual tips, so we've got 5 of them, I think that the number one thing is we do not compare.
No.
We don't compare out. We have always had our goal, what we wanted, and I don't give a crap what the neighbors drive.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I don't care what kind of couch they just bought.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of ring she has.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That crap doesn't matter. What is the old saying that you said? I was told, I heard it for the first time today. It's
comparison is the thief of joy.
Comparison is a thief of joy. I love that. Apparently it's been around forever. It missed me somehow, but comparison is the thief of joy. And that's basically keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah. And with social media these days, that's what everybody looks at. You see these highlight reels of people and you're comparing yourself. Oh, they got this vacation. They got the new car. They got the badass house. They got all this stuff. You don't know what they're really dealing with.
No clue.
And it doesn't matter because you have your own personal goals, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Not what Susie Q is doing.
Like, it's really easy to see someone else that you know or that you're related to living it up, and you're like, man, F my life.
Yeah.
Like, how are they killing it and I'm not? Well, the fact of the matter is, and this data shows, that some people are just living in debt over their eyes, and they're just okay with it because the other shoe hasn't dropped yet.
Right.
But it will.
Yeah, eventually.
But it will. So we've always been okay with living simply. And I love Paige because she could be like a gypsy if we had to be.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd be totally down with living in an RV and living the simple life and making hobo dinners on the fire. Like, I'm totally cool with that.
She really would, though. Like, that's the truth. So when I think about the basis for all of this, it starts with that. It starts with that we don't ever try to keep up with anybody else.
Yeah.
We look at our situation and what is reality? What are our goals and how do we get there?
Yes. The goals. That's so important.
I think the first thing that I would say to anybody is, if you are the type of person that looks outward and that's how you gauge your success, I would stop doing that. It's okay to have goals based on what you see from someone else's success, but that's not your lifestyle currently.
Right.
So if you can't afford a Mercedes, don't drive a Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
Yeah.
If you can't afford the $1 million home, don't try to weasel that into the budget and cut other things. You just can't afford it yet. It's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, we've both been okay throughout our relationship with saying, like, we're just not there yet. It's fine.
Yeah.
We will be one day.
One day. And we have goals. And that's okay.
Yeah. And having said all this, it's worth mentioning, full disclosure, that we don't fight about money.
Yeah, we don't.
We do not fight about money.
No.
Ever.
No. I mean, we used to, but not anymore.
We used to. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, believe me, we used to. Like, coming up when things were tough, we were broke, and then the drugs kicked in, and we had a lot.
I have to say, within the last
arguments.
10 years, we have not fought about money.
Not one time.
No. I mean, we'll have conversations, and that's it.
Yeah, we have conversations about money, and I will say that we've had some conversations that have been tense at times.
Yes.
Sometimes there's some tough pills to swallow, and they take a day or two to process.
Right.
But in the end, we always get the same result. It's been great. We just don't fight about money. So I think that there's something to what we're talking about here.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we're talking about this.
Yeah. So tip number 1 is you got to talk. You got to talk.
That means share your goals, talk to each other about what you want.
Yeah. And so Paige and I we have big goals in life. We really do. Financially, really the goal is we want freedom of time.
Yes.
In order to get freedom of time, you've got to have funds to do that at the end of the day. Like who doesn't want to just walk around in a national park all day, right?
Yeah.
But at some point you have to pay bills.
Right.
But our goal is to create enough passive income that becomes our life.
Yeah.
In order to create passive income though, you've got to start somewhere, which means with savings.
Yes.
So point number 2, Paige set this up years and years ago. We transfer a percentage of our income into savings every single month to a high yield savings account. Is it weekly or monthly?
Weekly.
It's weekly.
Yeah.
So it's taken straight out. It's not in our budget as far as discretionary funds go. It goes straight into high yield savings.
Yes.
Straight into it.
Yes. And I would increase it based on any type of,
raise or bonus or whatever it
anything
might
like
be.
that. I would increase the amount so that it would,
It reflects.
it reflects.
Right.
It. Yeah.
What that percentage is looks different for everybody. I'm not going to give financial advice over the air, but
No.
I would say whatever you can afford to put over there, put it over there.
Yes.
Take it out of the budget, put it out there. For us anyway, that was a way that we were able to finance some things that we wanted to do when it came to passive income, investments, opportunities, and things like that.
Yeah.
And so that's our next tip would be set yourself up for an investment-minded strategy. I think the first book that a lot of investors read is probably Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a great book about financial literacy. It's about becoming income-minded. What's an asset? What's a liability? How do you create passive income? It's a great way to sort of knock the rust off the gears in your mind about, okay, so what does a financially free life look like where you're not having to work every single day and, go to the office to earn money.
Yeah.
So that was part of our goals. That was part of one of our goals eventually was to get there. The next thing is empowerment, financial empowerment. And this is especially important in a marriage. So if you earn more than your spouse, I think it's pretty rare that you both earn the exact same amount of money. But if you earn more than your spouse, let's not make that a flex.
No.
Let's not make that a flex. We earn money. Not me. We earn money.
Yeah.
We earn money. And so our primary credit card is in Paige's name. Paige is a stay-at-home mom. Doesn't mean she doesn't work. She does some other things outside of just keeping kids alive. But we file jointly and I make substantially more than her. But that is just a meaningless statistic in my mind as far as what this really equates to. I put that card in your name because I wanted to make sure that if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, that you had credit, that you had some sort of like the credit agencies could see that, okay, this person's responsible with funds. This person knows what they're doing. This person has a credit score and established credit.
Yeah.
Like you'd paid off a car and you'd had some things before you stopped working, but it was important to me that you felt like you were part of this deal.
Yeah.
And so all the awesome airline miles and rewards and benefits and all that stuff are in your name. And I have my own cards as well, but we communicate on the balances of those.
Yeah.
And they rarely have a balance, but if they do, I will let you know when I've put something on one of them.
Right.
And we go back and forth and we have access to each other's accounts and we can see everything. It's open, right? Because we're having an open discussion about our money. At no point do I ever say it's mine.
That we both have access to all of the accounts because if something were to happen to you,
Exactly.
I need to know what to do.
Yeah, you need to know where to go, where to look, what are the passwords and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all available. The last thing we have done is we have an emergency fund.
Yeah.
So with that savings, outside of the savings for investments and whatnot, we have an emergency fund. We keep roughly, I think it's suggested, I don't want to say how much we keep, but it's suggested that you keep about 6 months.
Of living expenses.
So this is something that, so we were kind of at a crossroads a couple of years ago about what the future would look like for us career-wise. And we were like, okay, so what would happen today if I just stopped working? What would it look like? What do our savings look like? How fast would it drain? What's our cash runway look like?
Yeah.
And I have a degree in finance. I was very good in school. I do this for a living. But guess what? I'm not the one that did this.
Nope. I did. I took the initiative to go through our accounts to see how much money we spend in a 6-month period and how much money we would need if shit hit the fan.
Yeah. And that 6-month period was a pretty good look at overall average. It wasn't like just looking in a little bubble. It was an average of what we spend.
Right.
And if shit hit the fan, if somehow I lost my job or somehow became incapacitated and I couldn't work, or if we decided to take a different direction and resigned or something, we knew that we could survive for quite some time.
Right.
And that is a great feeling. It's such a great feeling. It takes the stress off the relationship.
It does.
It takes the stress off of the relationship, but it also, when it comes to risk and investments, I feel much better and you feel much better about decisions we make as far as being risky toward an investment, because you know that we've got plenty of time to figure it out if something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
Plenty of time to figure it out if something goes wrong.
Yep.
So this is a discussion to say that people just need to communicate more about their finances, man. This is
but
insane to me.
What did you do a few years ago? Didn't you cut a credit card?
Oh, this is back. Oh, this is long. This is longer than that. This is probably back in. Oh, we were in college, I think.
Right.
So I ran a credit card up with the balance of about $8,000. Like American Express thought it'd be a great idea to give an 18-year-old like a $15,000 credit card limit, or maybe it was like $8,000.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever
the
it
limit.
was.
I just know that it was
relevant.
ridiculous.
It was a high limit. And so like any great 18-year-old genius, I ran it up. And this is before we had figured out the genius of communication. I don't remember if I even really talked to you much about it.
No.
But I did talk to her about my solution. So I cut this thing in half. I threw it away. I paid it down. It took me forever to pay it down, but I paid it down. I sacrificed to pay it down.
Right.
Some things had to be
You
foregone.
learned how to be financially responsible.
Yeah, and I did not order another card until it was completely gone.
Right.
And then when I got that card back, I treated it like it was an emergency type deal.
Yeah.
Like I would keep a small revolving balance on it to make sure the credit card companies knew that I was responsible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was like, I'm not putting a lot of crap on here because I know that this can get away from you quickly.
Yeah.
And it will. With interest at 20%, it will eat you alive.
Yeah.
It will eat you alive. So we're comfortable going without, and if that's what it means to get our goal, or if that's what it means to understand what real financial knowledge and literacy looks like. But it doesn't happen right away. It takes intention. It takes intentional conversations. It takes research. It takes some know-how. And there's plenty of resources out there these days.
Yep.
You can hop on YouTube and become a financial genius in like a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's all we've got on this one. We'll have some cool digital content on this, and I'd like to hear where everyone else is with this too. We'll put some interesting polls up. I want to see what get the temperature in the room, see how many people we've upset with this.
Yeah.
But if you haven't already, check us out on our new YouTube channel. It's at @2fo_couple. I believe it's till the wheels fall off, and then it's --2fo couple. I could be wrong.
We had to change things up because it was...
If you don't know, check the show notes because it's in the show notes. Check the description. You can also check us out on Instagram at @2fo_couple. That's TWFO_couple. On Facebook at @2fo_couple. And on TikTok at @2fo_couple. We are on all the things.
Yep.
So until next time, I am Matt.
I'm Babe.
And we'll see you.